What is Web3? Why does everyone keep talking about it? And more importantly, why should you care? Maybe you've tried to figure it out. You've Googled it, you've watched videos, you've read articles, and maybe even joined Twitter Spaces, but it doesn't still click. That is exactly why I taught this class, to make Web3 finally make sense and to break it down in the simplest way possible. And guess what? Over 60 people joined this class and all of them had good things to say about it. Some of the comments they made during and after the class are on your screen. And I didn't just stop at theory. I walked them through real Web3 applications. Things that you can try out yourself, things that you can test, things that you can interact with right after watching this video. So if you've been struggling to make sense of Web3 or you just want someone to explain it in a way that it finally clicks, this might be the Web3 video that will finally make sense to you. Let's get started. What is Web3? Why should I care? So I'm just going to reiterate what I said at the beginning, just in case somebody did not hear that, just in case somebody missed that. What I said was that the first thing you need to know before you even start listening to me, or before you start learning learning about Web3, the mindset you need to have should not be that, oh, Web3 is hard, oh, Web3 is impossible to learn, oh, Web3 is out of this world, something that is too complex. All of those things, you need to have like an open mind that you actually can learn this, you can actually know it and know it 100%. So just in case you came into this class with the mindset of, oh, this thing is hard, let me just see if I will be able to understand it, and let me just see if it will enter my head. Oh yeah, I'm telling you now, if Glory Praise like this, which is me, if I can learn Web3, anybody can learn anything, I'm telling you. Because when I actually started with the fear of, oh, are you sure my head will be able to carry it? And you can imagine now I'm the one teaching somebody about it. So I'm just telling you ahead, because I understand that there's a way your mindset to be, that any effort you're putting in is not going to amount to anything. If you have the mindset of, oh, I'm not going to understand it, or maybe it's too hard, or it's too complex, anything I say here is just going to be like I'm singing in Swahili, maybe I'm singing in Chinese or Japanese language. So I hope we are on the same page. Are we on the same page? We all agree that Web3 is just technology. Just as I learned ABCD in school and I understood it, I will learn Web3 and I would understand it. Just as I learned whatever course you did in university, just as you learned, some of you have skills, like you know how to sew, you know how to do this, you know how to... When you got there, did they born you with any of those things? No. But you know how to do it now because you learned it. So have the mindset that today I'm going to learn this Web3, I'm going to understand it, and at the end of this class, I will go and explain it to other people. Are we together? If you're together, drop an emoji or something, a reaction, so I will know that, okay, thank you. Awesome. So let's continue. Okay, let's continue. So what are we going to be talking about today? Very quickly, because we have already spent about 30 minutes into the time, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend the whole of the night here. I don't want you to spend the whole of the night here, because I know that if you spend more than 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it may become something, but then it will not become something, because remember, you can learn anything, and sitting down to learn for 3 hours doesn't mean that anything will happen. So in the course of this call, I'm going to be covering what Web3 is. I'll be debunking some myths about Web3. I'll be telling you why you should jump into Web3. I'll be talking about some real world use cases of Web3, because if we just say Web3, and we are not able to use the technology, we are making noise, and we might as well as just keep quiet. Stop making noise. Okay. So we're also going to be talking about the real world use cases, how to get started, and the future of Web3. I'll tell you how to get started. So please make sure you stay till the end to learn how to get started. If you just learn what is Web3, debunking the myths, why you should jump and you run away, you did not learn the Web3. You have not learned it yet. So let's continue. Who am I? Why should you listen to me? So my name is Glory Praise Emmanuel. A lot of people call me Glory Praise. You can call me Glory. You can call me Praise. I'm a blockchain developer. I currently work as a developer advocate. So I have over 6 years of experience in software engineering. I studied computer engineering in university, and I specialize in blockchain and protocol engineering. I have a Web3 newsletter where I share Web3 opportunities. So opportunities like job opportunities like internships, opportunity like hackathons, Web3 events, contests, bounties, anything that looks like opportunity in Web3. I share it on my newsletter every week. So if you subscribe to my newsletter, you get weekly newsletters with Web3 opportunities for the week. So at the end of this class, there will be a QR code for you to scan, so you can scan it. I would also drop the links. I have a YouTube channel where I share educative content about Web3, about tech in general. So most of the questions you have probably asked about Web3, I probably have a video on it on YouTube. But for the purpose of this class, I'm going to be explaining it to you as if you've probably never watched any video, you've probably never read any book or anything about Web3. So because of time, I'm just going to move on to the next slide. So what is Web3? What is Web3? So when I talk about Web3, I like to talk about it from the standpoint of history. So you know how in the olden days we had typewriters. You know how you have typewriters that, I don't know about you, but there were some people that their jobs were typists. They type letters, they type documents. And then technology happened, that we moved from that to computers. Then we started with the big back computers. I don't know if you remember. I don't know how, whether we are all Gen Zs or whether we have people that have lived like millennials and the rest. But then there was that era of big back computers. I remember my mom had one in her office, and anytime I go to visit my mom in her office, I will see her using it. And then we have evolved even down to like smart, these laptops now, the laptops that you have, HP, I've forgotten the name, MacBooks. You have literally different brands, and they are very simple, very small. You can literally fit them into your bag and move around with them. And then we have phones. If you really understand technology, you will know that there are some phones that are more powerful than some laptops. So we literally carry computers in our telephones and move around. Yeah. So think about all of these things I said, and then think about Web3. If we are talking about Web3, it means that we are talking about like an evolution of technology still. But now we are talking about the evolution of the internet. So when you think about Web3, just think about it as the internet evolving over time. How the internet is being interacted with, how the internet is being used, evolving over time. So if there's a Web3, there's probably like a Web 1, there's probably like a Web 2, there's probably like a Web 0.2 or something like that. That is why they can name it Web3. You get? But yeah, so Web3 refers to the third generation of the internet. And what is the point of Web3? Web3 is just coming to advance the technology that we currently have. So we are just making what we have better. So I don't like to use fancy terms. Whenever I'm teaching, because I personally don't like to learn with fancy terms. But then I would have to use some of them, and then I would explain them in the slides to come. So Web3 is coming to make the internet more decentralized. So let me explain decentralization. I don't know if we know about networking, computer networking, or let me just use an example. Let's say we are having a roundtable discussion, and in that roundtable discussion there is somebody that is at the head of the table, and that person is like maybe the boss. When he's giving a command, he is giving a command to all of us. So all of us on that round table can hear him at the same time. That is the kind of internet we have now. So how the internet works right now, there is a server, and then that server is passing information to other computers. So all the other computers are connecting to a particular server. Now, when I say a particular server, I'm not talking about just one server in the whole world. Different organizations, different applications are connected to servers. But then when we talk about decentralization, if you separate those two words, de and centralization. So instead of us having one server that you're collecting information and sending information to, remember that round table analogy I just gave. Everybody is able to talk to themselves. Everybody is able to pass information to themselves. So there's no longer a central point of unit, or there's no longer a central unit that everybody is interacting with. Rather, everybody is now interacting with themselves. That means at that particular point in time, the discussions we are having is no longer centralized. It is now decentralized. So Web3 is just bringing a kind of internet, or a kind of evolution that comes with decentralized internet. So things are no longer centralized, and I'm going to go into details in the slides to come. At the end of the day, Web 3.0 is not coming to scatter everything that we currently have. We are not scattering everything that currently exists. What is happening is that Web 3.0 is making or solving the problems that came with Web 2 and just making it better. So Web 3.0 is coming to make Web 2 better. So I'm going to explain more about that now. So let's start from the very beginning. Whenever I explain this, I like to put it side by side with the evolution of money. So if you remember, in the olden days, how did people do business? How did we do exchange of value? If you have, I think it started with the barter system. If I have yam, I am looking for salt. I will go and look for somebody that has salt and probably wants yam, and then we are going to exchange the two of them. I go with the salt, the person goes with my yam. But then there became like issues with that particular system, because sometimes now you may need salt, but nobody in your village has salt. All of you have yam. So who do you now exchange with? You have to travel to like long distances to go and do that exchange of value. And then they went on to commodity money. So I'm giving you guys free finance class, finance history class. They went over to commodity money, where they now had like something that represents value. So let's say, for example, there was cowries. So instead of them to exchange one good to another, they exchange cowries. So if you want to let's say, for example, you want salt and you have cowries, you give the person cowries and the person gives you salt, and that person in exchange can also exchange that cowries with somebody else and collect something like, let's say, goats. That was how money started. From then they went to metal money, where coins became a thing. The government came in and decided to like take care of that. So they started creating coins. And then from coins, they decided to start creating paper money. All of those era is inside the Web 1. All of those, that era is Web 1.0. Now, Web 1.0 was the era of the internet that was read-only, where the internet was fairly new and not everybody had access to it. So if you want to take it back in time, you know those early days of cyber cafes, like the very early days, for those of us that are old, those very early days of cyber cafes, that if you want to see anything on the internet, you will go to a particular place and then you pay money to use the computer. And using the computer, you cannot do much. Maybe the highest you did was maybe you check news, you check online, some of those websites that existed then. And then after that, they now created email address, so you can go and check your email address. But all of those things was Web 1. All of those things happened in the Web 1 era. So it was read only. People could only read information written on websites. The internet was new. So let me go back to the evolution of money. So remember, I stopped at paper money. Now, people now came up with technology and say, okay, instead of us doing paper money, why don't we do digital money, whereby people can exchange money online? Also, let us also do online banking, so that people can also, like, instead of going to the bank, they can use like an application on their phone, or maybe they can use a website to send, to receive, to do all of those things. Let's have that. And then they start building applications like that. So instead of you going to the bank, in fact, some people have not gone to the bank in years because they have mobile apps, they have web apps, they have internet banking. So you can literally send money and receive money, right? So that era is Web 2. And that is the era we are still largely in. So what came with Web 2 was, it was like an explosion of technology, whereby we moved from being just able to read from the internet to the era where we are able to read, we are able to write, to the internet and back. So now, instead of you just going online to just read information, you can write information. Right now, you can write a post on Facebook. Somebody in Japan can see it. That's Web 2. You can write a blog post. Someone in India can read it. You watch videos on YouTube that were created by people in their parlor in India. The class that you're attending in school, you did not learn anything. You will go back home and watch YouTube videos with those Indian lecturers teaching you. What is that? Web 2. So Web 2 came with social media. A lot of social media companies came about. Facebook, Google, all of those companies. Internet, shopping, e-commerce became a thing. You cannot buy things from China. You cannot buy things from India. You cannot buy things from USA. Shipping, importing, exporting, all of those things online. That is Web 2. But then there were some lapses with Web 3. There were some lapses with Web 2. Not necessarily lapses, but then there were things that could be done better. There were potholes that needed to be filled. Just as there were potholes that needed to be filled in Web 1. That's the same way that Web 2 was not perfect. And then they needed to fill up some potholes. And that's where Web 3 came in. So now let's go back to our analogy of the evolution of money. So now, we have mobile apps. We have internet banking. But still, we have a problem. I cannot send money to my auntie in the USA, and she receives it through her bank app, because those bank apps are only limited to Nigeria, and my auntie is in the USA. My uncle abroad cannot send me money, and even if he does, because technology also evolved, technology doesn't stay static. Whether you're moving with it or not, it doesn't stay static. So now, even with the technology that evolved, if my uncle sends me money, it's going to come inside my bank, and then I will now go to the bank to go and collect it. So I don't know how many of us have done things like MoneyGram, SendWave, that they will send you money, they'll send you dollars, and you go to the bank. So let me give you a story. In 2021 or 2022, I used to teach people online a lot. I used to have like regular webinars that I would do, and people would join and I'll teach them. One of the people that I taught had her uncle living abroad. And the uncle was so passionate about this, his niece. He wanted her to be tech savvy. So he was investing in her. So because I was doing a very good job, he now decided that, okay, he wanted to pay me for me to like focus on her, just only her. I should train her, I should teach her. I said, okay, who am I? You want to give me dollars? Why not? And then he started sending me dollars. The problem was that anytime he sent me, so he used to pay me $100. Anytime he sends me that money, he would send it through an app called SendWave, and the money would enter my GT account. I didn't even have a domiciliary account. When they sent you money, you have no, let's say you have been praying that God should save you. Hunger wants to kill you. They now send you money. You now rush. I was in university then. I will rush and go to school. Rush and go to the bank. Only for the bank to come and tell me that there is no dollar. You mean I've suffered? I taught this girl for 1 month. They have paid me my salary. You're telling me that there is no dollar. Or the bank will tell me that, okay, there is no dollar, so we can only give $50. Or there is no dollar, but we can only give $1 bill. We can't give you the $100 bill. So they will now divide it into $20 bills, $10 bills, $1 bills. I know some of you are thinking I have money. Please erase that memory. Stop thinking about it. Delete, control delete. Focus, continue. Thank you. So that's how I was literally like collecting money, and it was very frustrating because I did not tell you some part of the story. Now, when you go to the bank, you're going to stand in queue. Sometimes you stand in queue for like half the day. When it finally gets to your turn, you now get to the counter. They now tell you there's no dollar, and they need to give you dollar so that you can take it to the aboki outside to change it for you. So that's how you will go to bank and come back empty-handed. And you're already told, like my sister used to live with me, and I'll tell her, don't worry, when I come back, see, I'll spoil you, we'll cook something. And then you come back defeated. So that was some of the issues that I faced. But then, now think about it. We now went from that era to where we now have decentralized money, cryptocurrency. So we now have decentralized money that is borderless. Now, I know you'll be thinking, instead of us doing crypto, why didn't we do cross-border solutions? The problem with cross-border solutions is that it's also still limited. Within certain jurisdiction. And before you be able to do those cross-border solutions, you still need a lot of permissions. Like, you cannot just build a cross-border app that will collect money from anywhere. You need a lot of permissions from government, and each country has its own laws, each country has its own rule. So what was the solution to the problem of money at that time? It was now to bring about decentralized money that does not have border. Interestingly, the first blockchain was introduced in 2009. Now, when I say the first blockchain, there have been a lot of research about blockchains before then. There have been some simulations, but the first publicly accepted blockchain was launched or was used first in 2009. And that was during the period of financial meltdown. I don't know if I like to assume that we used to read history books, or at least we know history. But then there was a particular period in 2008 and 2009 that was called the Great Recession. Don't worry, don't feel bad. I'll explain it. The Great Recession. All the countries were bleeding. There was a big recession in the world. Money did not have value, not just in Nigeria, because of course Nigeria is at the receiving end, but then across the world, the whole economy was collecting it. That was where the first blockchain, which was the Bitcoin blockchain, was created. Interestingly, the first blockchain, which was Bitcoin, was created to solve the issues that money, as it was known as then, had. So remember, I talked about decentralized money without border. You can literally send decentralized money, which is crypto, from anywhere in the world, and anywhere in the world they will get it. No restriction, no government, nothing. So you literally can run your own banks. You can literally lend, you can literally borrow, you can do all of those things. And if you check, coming from exchange of salt and pepper, we have come a long way. So now Web3 is now the era that came with decentralized money. So I hope I've not lost you guys. But then let me come back to the evolution of the web, which is Web 3.0. So remember I said Web 2 was read and write. Web 3.0 is now read, write, and own. So you will not just be able to read, you will not just be able to write, but then everybody had the opportunity to own the internet. So they had the opportunity to own the data that they put on the internet. They had the opportunity to not just create, they had the opportunity to also own. Because remember, I said when Web 2 happened, there was a lot of industries that came up. Like, there was a lot of companies that came up. So those social media companies, people like Facebook, Google, all of those guys, when they created those applications, what happened was that they were now farming a lot of data, which is not a bad thing, because we actually gave them consent in most cases. In some cases we didn't give them consent, but you know, when you're creating those apps and they tell you, read our terms and conditions, I want to say swear, but let me not say swear. Tell me if you actually read those things. Say the truth. If you read it, say, I will give you, how much will I give you? I'll give you $5 if you tell me you read it. I can promise
How
you.
would they prove? How would they prove to you that?
I will know. The way you talk, I will read you. I'll read your heart.
Wow.
But then, seriously, some of those things, you do not read them. If you read them, you will actually see the clause that any information that you put here, we have the permission to use it. Kini. Those things are there. But then there are some other applications that do not have that. So for those ones that you granted permission, they have the right to do with your data what they want. But for those ones that you did not grant permission, they don't have the right to do with your data what you want. But then there is something that happens. Whether you click yes or you click no, they will collect your data. That's the funny part. So you now notice that in Web2, let's say, for example, I don't know how many people have experienced this. You're chatting with your friend on WhatsApp, like, for this our matric, I want to buy red gown. It has to be red. Red is my color. And then you now go to Google, or let's say you go to Instagram, and then you're seeing Instagram vendors showing you red gown. Or let's say you want to buy a shoe. You went to Google and you search white sneakers. You're looking for inspiration on Pinterest. Tell me why you go to Instagram, you're seeing ads about shoe. In fact, it's so bad that you can literally go to Google and search, for example, washing machine. I want to buy washing machine. You go to Google, still just scroll down, you're seeing ads from Jumia. Come and buy your washing machine, 20% discount. You go to Twitter. You go to what is other social media ad. You literally see it's as if they are pursuing you. You're like, please, what is it? Are you guys listening to me? Are you guys listening? See, you can imagine that. Now that is because one of the issues that Web2 came with was that even though we could read, even though we could write, we did not own our data. So all of those data that you're putting out on the internet, those companies that own those applications actually own the data. And what do? They sell it to advertisers. You would think this thing is a joke. I was speaking at an event in Port Harcourt, 2023, I remember. And I was talking about this. And one of the men, at the end of the event, the guy is, these guys that are abroad, like people that they don't live in Nigeria. You know them from their accent. So he was literally talking to me. He was like, oh, he's a software engineer with over 20 years of experience. Now he's into VC. And he's one of the people that actually developed this feature for one of the popular companies that you know. So he was like, he's surprised I actually know that. I'm like, so you're the one that develop the algorithms that is reaping our data. So at the end of the day, the data that you put out is not your own. And that's one of the things that Web3 is coming to solve. Another issue that we had in Web2 was that, even if you're using our data, no problem. But can we at least have a say in these applications, in these protocols, in all of these things that we are using? In Web2, you will just sit down. For example, how many times have WhatsApp released updates that you did not ask them to release this year? You will just wake up and you just see new updates. We have decided that we have added this, that. So you're just using these apps. You don't have any say. And although there's a part of it being free, because when something is free, most of the applications we use are free. But now the downside of it being free is that even if you're not paying with money, you're paying with other things, one of which is your data. So you'll be wondering, have you ever sat down to wonder, WhatsApp is free, Facebook is free, Instagram is free. How are they making their money? How are they a multi-million-dollar company still when all of these applications are free and millions of people have it on their phone and they did not collect 1 naira from you? So all of those things, those are the issues that came with Web 2. So why Web 2 was great, it came with a lot of technological advancements. We can now do online shopping, we can now do blogs, people can read and write, like people can listen podcasts. You would speak in your bedroom, someone in China can hear you. Mad innovations. But then there were some things that needed adjusting, and that was why Web3 was created. So in the future we might have another version of the web, but yeah, let's just stop in Web3. So Web3 is the data or the web that is not just read, you can write, and then you own a piece of the data. So I'm going to talk about that in details in slides to come. But yeah, I hope you understand that. Now there's a misconception that Web3 is just crypto. Web3 is just blockchain. But do you know that Web 3.0, a lot of things come under it that makes it Web 3.0, and some of the things that come under it is AI, Internet of Things, semantic web. All of those things come under AI. So when we are saying Web3 is not complete in itself by just blockchains. All these other things, AI, Internet of Things. So when I say Internet of Things, a time is coming where you're going to be using all the gadgets in your house is going to be connected on the blockchain. When, for example, when your light is expired, your light is, for those people that are using meters, you're actually spending what you buy. By the time your light is about to finish, the money will be deducted from your wallet on the blockchain. So everything is going to be connected. Your car is going to be connected with your wallet. Everything is going to be connected. That's Internet of Things, where inanimate things are acting as computers. IoT, AI, AI is everywhere already. Blockchain, all of these technologies come together to give us what we call Web 3.0. So they are not independent. All of them are working together to give us Web 3.0. So I really hope we are following. Please, if you can understand what I've said so far, drop so what they call this stuff, emojis, so that I will know. If you don't understand what I've said so far, also tell me, so that I also know. It's 10 o'clock already. All right, so just notice the people that are raising up their hands and that are dropping these emojis. If you don't understand, go and meet them. They will explain it. But let me just continue for now. So let's talk about something else. So what are the features that define Web3? Because all these things I said Web2 is what we are currently in. Web3 is something that is still new. So nobody has been able to, not that nobody has been able to, but nobody has had the mind to give it definition. And the world that we live in, everybody likes to follow somebody. Maybe I can give it definition. After today, I should give it my own definition. But then there are some features that you need to see for you to call it Web3. If these features are not there, that technology that you're using is not Web3, it's Web2. Okay, so what are some of the features? Openness. Now, openness is tricky because even though all of the data on the network, now when I say network, I'm talking about the blockchain network. So what is a blockchain? So first, let me start from there. I didn't put it in this slide, but let me just explain it. Now, a blockchain is just think about it as a database where information is stored. Now, it is actually different from the databases that we have now because the information that you store on it cannot be changed. And then it is transparent that anybody that has access to the network can see the data that you store in it. Now, the fact that I say everybody can see the data that you store in it doesn't mean that the data is just there. There is a sort of anonymity in the blockchain whereby you don't necessarily know that this is this person, but you can see the data that has been put out there. So for example, you can just see an address. But then you don't know whether it's me, you don't know whether it's somebody. It can be anybody, but you can see the transactions that the person has done. You can see how much the person has in the wallet. So that is a blockchain. Now, another thing about the blockchain, so I've talked about it being immutable, meaning that whatever you store on the blockchain cannot be changed. I've also talked about it being transparent. What else? It's actually also secure. The thing that secures the blockchain is called cryptography. So cryptography is just mathematical algorithms. Maths. 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. Whether you faint, whether you enter gutter, whether motor jam you, anything that happens to you, whatever is happening, even if the world catches fire today, 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. That is why we trust cryptography, because it is mathematics, and mathematics doesn't change. The mathematics you've been, like your great grandfather learned, is still the mathematics you're going to learn, because it is like literally like part of science. And science, you cannot change science. You cannot change what is already there and what has been there. So yeah, cryptography powers the security of the blockchain. And then there's something I'm missing out about the definition of the blockchain. It's flying in my head, but I can't remember. So it is immutable, it is secure, it is I can't remember there's something that I'm missing, but if I remember it, I'm going to mention it. So now, all the information that is happening in Web3, they are being stored on a blockchain. So the blockchain is like the database of Web3. So all the data that is going on, all the data you're putting out there, is going to be stored on the blockchain. Why is this good? Now, this is good because, first of all, the way Web3 works, yes, there's something I missed, I remember now. So the way Web3 works, Web3 is actually decentralized. Sorry, the blockchain is actually decentralized. Remember the example I gave of where you have a round table of people discussing, and then they are able to communicate with each other. Yes. So all of those people that are communicating with each other are called nodes. Nodes are just computers. So now each of these computers have the same data in it. So imagine if, okay, so let me give an example. So you know those times that you come online, you're trying to open your WhatsApp, it's not opening. You ask your friend, how far? I'm trying to open WhatsApp. They say, even me too, I can't open it. Everybody, you now go to Twitter, everybody's now shouting, WhatsApp is down, the servers are down, WhatsApp is down, everybody's shouting. Or let's say you're trying to open Twitter. You try to open, you will now be wondering that what happened? Is it that what happened now? Why am I not able to? And then you now see that, oh, this application is down. What happened? The servers are down. So remember, it is centralized. So they have a particular server, or they have some servers that this information are stored on. So now when this information is stored on the server, if anything happens to the server, it means that all the computers are connected to the server. When I say computer now, including your phones, all those devices are connected to this server to collect information. When they try to get the information, they are not able to get it because the server is down. They will not be able to access those applications. So that's what happens in Web 2. But now in Web 3, because all of these nodes are decentralized, meaning that they are not relying on one particular server. So now because it is decentralized, all the nodes have the same data. So when a new information is added to the network, all the nodes update their database. All the computers, they update their database. So even if one computer is down, one node is down, we can get information from the other nodes. So that's what we talk about. That's another explanation for decentralization. So the blockchain is also decentralized. So let's talk about features of Web3. So like I said, if these features are not there, you cannot say this is Web3. So I've talked about openness. It is transparent. You can literally see the information that is on. You can see information. There is no secrecy. Like right now, in fact, apart from openness, there's also open source. Most Web3 projects are open source. I'm not saying that there are some Web3 projects that are not open source, but then most of them are open source. The thought is, at the end of the day, people should be able to scrutinize the code. People should be able to have access to those data. All of those things that you're doing, they should be able to see it. In fact, there is openness. The data that you put on there is open. You can literally see most of the Web3 projects that exist. You can literally go to GitHub, check their code base. In fact, just last week, there's something that happened on Twitter. So somebody that is a security researcher found a minor bug on a code base of a company that has A company that has existed for years. He literally like casually found it. I don't know what he was looking for. These people that are smart, they will just go and be looking for something that is not looking for them. Like, how will you just go and start reading things? But then it's good. Please be like that. Read, read, read. So this guy was just randomly just checking stuff, and then he just saw the bug, and he reported it to them, and it was resolved. Why? Because that's Web3. If it was Web2, you will not see the code base. You will not hear that there's an issue that money have lost or things have happened. But yeah, there's openness. Another one is decentralization. So I believe I've explained this. It's not one server to many computers. It is peer to peer. So all of us which are nodes are talking to each other. We have the same amount of data. So if there's a new data that is added, everybody's computer updates. So it is decentralized, peer to peer. Peer to peer means we are all interconnected. We are all talking to each other. We can all get information from each other. We can all make decisions together. So it's not just one person that will make the decision. Everybody has to agree for it to be passed. And when it has been agreed on, all of us will now update with that new decision that we have made. So that's how it works. And then it's immutable. Some of the things you put, provided that it's being stored on the blockchain, cannot be changed. So those scenarios where, let's say for example, you have a business. Let's say you have like a superstore. Those supermarkets that use computers to put in information as you're buying. So imagine that the manager at the end of the day can just go and remove some things, change that. Oh, let's say they bought 7 crates of egg. The manager, or let's say the sales girl that is trying to rip the boss, which is not good. If you're doing like that, stop it. It's not good. They'll catch you. When they catch you, you see something. So now let's say that, for example, that person now goes and after close of work now tries to say, instead of 6 egg, the person will not change it to 5 egg and keep the money for 1 egg. All of those things is possible because, and then you hear people say that, oh, I'm losing money. All of those things is because those informations, you can literally change it. You can wake up, you can change it, you can update it, anything can happen. But then for the blockchain, all those informations you're putting cannot be changed. Once you put it, it cannot be changed. And anybody can see it. So remember, imagine you're the owner of that supermarket and you have those things happening. As they put in those information, you from your own end, you are seeing it. And then it cannot be changed. So because of that, because it is decentralized, because it is immutable, we don't have to trust anybody. We trust the process. We trust that, okay, this thing is going to happen like this because these are the things that have been put in place for this to happen like this. We do not necessarily trust anybody. We cannot say, okay, we are depending on this person for this thing to happen. It's just going to happen because the system has been designed to happen that way. So that's another thing. It's trustless. So in a particular scenario where you have to rely on, oh, if the CEO doesn't come, for example, there's an application that is a so-called Web3 application, but then you're seeing some linkage that is tied to a person's, like a particular person has like control of it, and then you're now meeting that person. If you really check well, that is not is not Web3. At the end of the day, Web3 will allow everybody. It's going to be transparent. It's going to be immutable. In fact, if you see applications that are built on the blockchain, you're going to see the person that the wallet is connected to the application. You can see where the money is going. So you don't have to trust that, oh, we are good people, we will not cheat you. You can see. So if anything happens, you know how to trace. So there's that. Then there's permissionless. Web3 doesn't limit you and say, oh, you have to be from this country to participate. You have to be from this to do. You have to be, all of those things. It's permissionless. Anybody can use Web3. Across border. Remember I talked about borderless. It is borderless. There is no restriction, there is no limitation. Anybody across borders, provided you're on the network, you can actually use these technologies. And then censorship resistance. This is one of the issues that Web2 has currently, that is making people cry. Because imagine you have an Instagram page, you build your page up to 3,000, or let's say 10,000, or let's say 100k followers. You just wake up one day and you see that they have blocked your account, or they have brought down your account. Or you're on Twitter, you just wake up one morning, you cannot see your account again. All of those things, censorship. So the platform would say that, oh, if you do this, if you cough, there's a way you even post a video, they will remove you. They say, who are you? They remove you. People will not be tagging Elon Musk. Elon Musk, please release my friend to do this. All of those things. In Web3, it is censorship resistant. So even the Web3 social media platforms that we have is censorship resistant. So in a truly Web3 compliant application, before those kind of actions are taken, there has to be consensus. That means there has to be agreement. I've personally worked on a social media project before. For you to ban an account, you can report the account, and then different people that are stakeholders. Now, the stakeholders are the people. So remember, there is no company that is the orga, there is no server that is controlling it. Everybody is literally connected. So for them to make that decision to ban this person, is going to be put up, and then people will come together and vote. Should we not? Even if they want to add a new feature. For example, there are some blockchains that you're going to check, and you see for them to add a new feature. Not even some blockchains, even on Ethereum, any blockchain at all, before they will add a new feature, or this blockchain project, before they will add a new feature, even the founder of this thing, he cannot just wake up and say, I've decided that I want to add reels to this thing, let's do it. People will have to agree to it before those actions are actually done. So there is censorship resistance. In Web3, there is no censorship. There has to be consensus. So there are some other things, but this is where I'm going to stop now. So let's just move on quickly. So let me debunk some myths. I'll try to do this before this call, this particular call ends. So I have 8 minutes. So let me talk about some myths. The first one is Web3 is all about cryptocurrencies. So I was talking about how Bitcoin was the first blockchain, and then it was created to solve money problem. What I did not say was that there's a difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin. There is Bitcoin, capital letter B, which is the blockchain protocol. Then there is Bitcoin, small letter b, which is the cryptocurrency that is spent on Bitcoin, capital letter B. So Web3 is not the same as cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is just a part of Web3, just as digital payment was not Web2. There was e-commerce, there were other things, social media, all of those things. Then digital payment was what you can now use your card to buy something on Amazon. In Web3, there is Web3 technology. Several things are happening there. And then you now have cryptocurrency as a way for you to spend money, as a way for you to change value. So cryptocurrency is not the same with Web3. Cryptocurrency is not the same with blockchain. They are different. Cryptocurrency is not the same. So after Bitcoin came Ethereum. Ethereum was now the second blockchain to exist. Now Ethereum came with something. So for Bitcoin, capital letter B, that is the blockchain protocol. That is the infrastructure that powers Bitcoin, small letter B, the cryptocurrency. So small letter B Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency. That's what you call BTC. It's cryptocurrency that you spend. You can save it as money. You can send it to somebody to buy something. I think 22nd of May is called Bitcoin Pizza Day. That was the first crypto transaction that the person used how many thousands of Bitcoin to go and buy pizza. If the person knew, the person would have kept the money, and the person is still alive till now. You can imagine. Bitcoin is now, I don't know if it is up to 100k. I think it's 200k dollars now. One. And then you use how many thousands to buy pizza? Let's not go there. But yeah, there is the cryptocurrency part. There is the infrastructure, the blockchain. So now I was talking about Ethereum. So there is Ethereum. There is Ethers. There's also sometimes they call it Ethereum as well, but then the real name is like Ethers. So Ethers is the cryptocurrency that is spent on Ethereum blockchain. Now, Ethereum blockchain will allow you to deploy smart contracts. So smart contracts are just code telling the computer what to do at a particular time. So all of this infrastructure that you're going to have is going to be built on the blockchain. So when I say blockchain now, I'm talking about Ethereum, I'm talking about Bitcoin with the capital B. When you're building all of those things, you're building it on top of that blockchain infrastructure. Why the cryptocurrency is what you spend to buy things, you save, use it as money, you send it to somebody, use it to buy something. So that's cryptocurrency. So the second one is Web3 is complicated and it is only for developers. It's not just for developers. Whether you are a content person, whether you are, in fact, you don't have any excuse. Today I interviewed somebody, a man, that he has white hair in his beard. I know that there are some young people that have white hair in their beard, but this man's own is old age white hair. It's not young boy that's his old age white hair. And this guy is in Web3. I met a woman at an event. She's a mother of 4. Her first child is trying to get into the university to study computer engineering, and she's in Web3. And she's not a developer. I've seen lawyers in Web3. I've seen teachers in Web3. I've seen artists, musicians, rappers, actors. If you attend some big blockchain event, you're going to see actors, footballers, every pastor, everybody's in Web3. It is not just for developers. It's not just for developers. Another thing is a fad. Is going to very soon. We will not hear about it again. That's what they have been saying since 2009. This is 2025. We are still hearing about it. Countries are adopting it. But then another one is it's a buzzword with no practical application. That one is not true. You're going to see blockchain is being used in, first of all, they are using it in business, they are using it in supply chain, they are using it in medicine, they are using it in pharmaceutical industry, they are using it in real estate, they are using it in almost any industry you can think about. It is not a buzzword. People are not just saying Web3 for nothing. It's not just about money, because a lot of noise is there about DeFi. Oh, decentralized finance, which is where cryptocurrency come under. DeFi, money, let's make money. It is more than that. There is applications of Web3 everywhere, literally every industry. The other one is you have to completely abandon the current web, which is Web2, so that we'll do Web3. That's not true. Remember, as I said, there was typewriter, and now there is mobile phone that has keyboard. You're not throwing away anything. You are just transferring the good parts, adding the other good parts that you want to see. Another misconception is that Web3 is a complete abandonment of the current internet. So a lot of people think that, oh, because we are doing Web3, it means that we are going to throw away Web2. Like I said, we are not throwing away anything. Can you guys hear me clearly? Please confirm if you can hear me clearly. Somebody said my voice is sounding afar. All right. So we are not throwing away Web2. What are we doing? We are adding the things that are going to make Web2 better inside of Web3. So let me give you an example. So when you're interacting with Web2 applications, what do? You open the website. You open the mobile app. That's Web2. Web3 does it mean we are not going to be writing on the air, or you're going to be clicking the air? No. If you're going to interact with a Web3 application, you're still going to open a website or a mobile application. So you're not going to be throwing away Web2. You're still going to be using Web2, but you're going to be adding some stuff into Web3. So even if you want to be a developer, the languages that you use as a front-end developer is the same thing you're going to use in Web3. You're just going to add Web3 elements. The backend is going to be different because remember, we are going to be using blockchain to store data. So you just need to know how to write smart contracts that are built on blockchain, how to interact with the blockchain from your front end. But then Web2 is not going anywhere. But Web3 is now going to have Web2 components inside with the extra things that they will add on top. The next one is Web3 is not sustainable. If it was not sustainable, we will not have countries overhauling their systems and turning it to Web3. We wouldn't have that. But that's actually what is happening right now. We have a lot of countries, I'm going to show you in some slides to come, that they are now using Web3 to do their processes. some companies are using Web3 to do their processes, so it's sustainable. If it's not sustainable, they wouldn't use it. Then the last one is that Web3 is not private. The fact that I said that the data that you store in Web3 on the blockchain is transparent, is like open for everybody to see, doesn't mean that all data are being stored openly. There are different types of blockchains. There is a public blockchain. So a public blockchain is a blockchain that can be accessed by anyone. Anyone can see the content of the blockchain. Anyone can use it. Anybody can, yeah. There is public blockchain, but there are also private blockchains. Now, private blockchains are blockchains that are being controlled by it is closed within an organization. So, for example, let's say now you want to build an application for health. Let's say something that has to do with people's health record. Will you go and carry Chimamanda's HIV status and put on the blockchain? Let them come and see that she has Jesus. Who is Chimamanda? Please, oh. Let's cancel the name. Sorry. Delete. Before Chimamanda will enter my DM and beat me. Sorry. Now, let's say somebody has any sickness now. One sickness that you don't used to talk about, that you don't used to say that, oh, this. Or let's say you just have something like hereditary something, family things that you just have it. Will you go and put it on the blockchain that everybody should come and see that this is what this person has? Just imagine that kind of thing. It's going to be disastrous. Or for example, you put in information that are supposed to be private. Let's say, for example, you buy properties, you're rich, you're trying to do low key. We'll not go and see on the blockchain that you have money, that you're doing fake life for us. You don't want to help our life. Imagine. Some people will not want that kind of audience. They don't want that kind of publicity. We need some form of privacy on the blockchain. If not, they can literally trace Motuna and kidnap her because she has money. They will see when you transfer the money to her. They will trace her. Motuna, they will not trace you in Jesus' name. Sorry. So why should you jump into Web3? So there are a lot of benefits, but then the main benefit of Web 3.0, the main problem that Web 3.0 is coming to solve is ownership and trust. Because now in Web 3, we don't need middlemen for anything. You don't need government to approve this for this to happen. Although there's going to be regulation. But then you don't need middlemen. So for example, remember that money I talked about that will go to the bank? They will not tell me that the money that the money that uncle sent for me now as my salary, he sent it, I saw the alert, it entered the bank. I will go to the bank, they will tell me there is no money, they don't have dollars. It's not going to happen, because if this uncle wants to send me dollars, he will send it directly to me. So middlemen are eliminated. Even let's talk about monetization of platforms. You know how you have social media platforms and then you can monetize social media platforms. Like for you to do, even Twitter, for example, that is monetized. Do you know how many clicks, how many impressions you have to have before they pay you? That is if they pay you. Let's talk about YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. You have to have 4,000 watch hours for them to pay you. And when they start paying you, without your 4,000 watch hours, it's not like they're going to be giving you $100,000. It's just going to be some small cents, small dollars, until you have like a large audience. That's when they will not pay you. But then in Web3, there are no middlemen. So people that are watching your content can incentivize you directly. So even if you post one picture now, somebody like your picture in Web3, they can dash you money. I did not say they will dash the platform money. The platform will not give you the money when this thing increase. They can give you the money directly. So that's the benefit of Web3. There is no middleman involved. Everybody can do what they are doing directly. And then we all have a copy of our data. If you're on the blockchain, you have access to the whole history of the blockchain. So for example, you remember I said I'm a developer and I told you I'm doing protocol development. One of the things I did this year was Bitcoin protocol development. And one of the things I needed to do was to run a node on Bitcoin. And remember I told you Bitcoin started 2009. In my computer, I was able to run a node that updated all the data that has run on Bitcoin from 2009 to that date. So you don't need a particular server somewhere for you to see the data. You can literally have the couple of the data of the whole history of the blockchain from the Genesis block. The Genesis block is the very first block of the blockchain. Sorry, I'm not talking about blockchain generally, because I'm like specifically, because I want us to understand beyond that. But yeah, that is a benefit of the blockchain: ownership, trust. So middlemen are removed. Everybody owns their data. Everybody comes to make decisions. And then you're part of the people building the future of the internet. Because now Web3 is new. You know how it was when the internet started? That people were saying it was juju. What is internet? Witchcrafty. You people have come again. You people have come again with your this thing. People have started doing juju in daytime. Now, guess what? If you don't use an internet-enabled phone, you're considered an old person. Because it's only our grandmas and grandpas. In fact, our grandmas and grandpas are on TikTok. So what are you saying? It's only our great grandmas and great grandpas that are using phones that are not internet enabled, and they can just make calls. But that internet that was a crime then, everybody can use it. Anybody can use it. So I don't want to waste too much time, so I'm just going to speed up a bit. So that's not all. So remember, I talked about ownership. So you own your data. You can earn directly from your work in Web3. So I gave an example here. You can Google this. A Nigerian artist, Osinachi, sold a digital art on the blockchain and made over $75,000. So if you are a creative, you don't need to depend on a what they call those people, a record label. You don't need to depend on this. As an artist, you don't need to have an art gallery for you to put up your work. Remember, borderless. The internet is now borderless in Web3. You can literally stay in your house anywhere you are, and then you are reaching the whole world. That is what you can do from Web3. And literally, you can earn directly from your work. So nobody is collecting commission from you. Nobody is collecting referral, kini. You can literally sell it. There are so many examples. So I have a lot of musician friends in Web3, and one of them told me that he put a song on Spotify, and I can't remember how many plays he said it had. But then how much did they give? Was it $40 or so? But then he put it out on Zora. So I'm going to show you Zora. He put out a Web3 content, and then he literally has made how much, like more than like times 4. So I don't like to exaggerate. I can't remember the exact figure, but he has made at least more than times 4 of that in 1 month for a song that he puts on Spotify for like years, or let's say like a much longer time. So I'm just trying to tell you that you can earn directly from your work in Web3. And then you don't need bank to access money or jobs. Anybody with a smartphone, anybody with an internet, you can own your crypto. You can have a crypto wallet. You can send, you can receive money. You can take loans. You can work in Web3 communities. You can get paid in crypto. The resources, the opportunities are endless. And then it gives you power to make decisions. So if you're part of an organization, you can actually vote for things to happen. So for those platforms, for those organizations, for those protocols, you are part of the decision makers. So even on Ethereum, for example, if you see something in Ethereum and you don't like it, you as a person, you can literally write a proposal saying that, oh, this thing that is in Ethereum right now, I don't like it. How about we do it like this? And you will submit it, and everybody will come and look at it and say, okay, let's consider it. If they agree, they will pass it into development. If they don't agree, they will tell you they don't agree. But here you see, you have power to make decision in this era of the web. So let me move on. So real life use cases of Web3. The very first one I saw was Walmart. I was very surprised when I saw it. I saw this like 1 year ago. I can't remember. That Walmart, if you know Walmart is a supermarket, a big supermarket franchise in, I'm not sure the exact country. I don't know if anybody's like me, but I often mistake US with UK. I'm always mixing them up. So in one of them, Walmart actually uses the blockchain to trace the supply chain of goods and services, like I said, goods and services, of goods like pork. So for example, for pork specifically, they like their pork from China. So they use the blockchain to trace that particular pork is coming from China. Because you know that we have a lot of issues with fake products. We have a lot of issues with, oh, where is this thing coming from? Is it actually coming from this place? So blockchain is actually being used to solve that in supply chain industries. Walmart, IBM is currently using blockchain. You can research it. Nike or Nike, as some Nigerians will call it. Nike or Nike. They literally launched like an NFT sneakers and digital wearable collection. And they made a lot of money from it. Did I say they launched a physical collection? No. They launched a digital collection and they made revenue from it. Even Spotify that I told you about. Spotify just acquired a Web3 music startup to track royalty payments. So why is this important? Because you know that, for example, now, let's say I'm a musician, I sing a song and the song goes viral. The song, everybody starts using the song. Everybody's using the song to make money. But me that sang the song, I don't make any money from it. But then that is not how it's supposed to be. How it's supposed to be is that if I sing a song, for anybody that will use my song, they're supposed to pay me royalty. But then because of the system we have, it's not feasible. Anybody can just do anything. They'll get away with it. But now, Spotify, in this particular case, they literally purchased like a Web3 startup that will help them to track royalty payments. So no matter where the song goes to, they were able to track it and pay. The royalties will be paid to the artist. So that's good, right? If you're a musician, you know that is good. Then we also have like Uniswap and Aave that allows you to literally lend and borrow. So you know this, I don't know how many of us have seen this loan apps that they will tell you that you should come and collect 1 million naira. You will see their ads are very, very spooky. You just see somebody folding hands. They will not come and say, why are you sad? Say, I need 20k to solve a family issue right now. The person will not say, why are you bothered? You can use this app to solve your problem. And the person will not say, wow. The person will not borrow money. The person will not smile and say, wow. The part that they don't tell us is that when you don't pay that money, they will use your picture to do obituary and post it online. They will call your family members. They will pursue you around the whole world. They don't show that part on the ads. But yeah, those are like real life, I will not say issues, because you that is borrowing, why don't you want to pay? Are you a thief? Pay back the money. But then, let me keep quiet because I don't know who is on this call. Please, you guys, don't take me seriously. Anything I say like this, just control delete. But yeah, there are actually platforms in Web3 that allows you to borrow, that allows you to lend without a bank. So you may need to get a loan. For example, let's say you need a loan, but then if you go to the bank, the banks will tell you that, oh, you don't have assets that they can use. You can actually get loans, you can actually borrow and get interest without the hustle of going to the bank, without any of those platforms. Those things exist. They actually exist in Web3. And then African creators and artists, with platforms like Zora, Miro, you can literally own and monetize your work without any middleman. Like I said, you don't need a record label. I'm going to show you guys a music video hosted on the blockchain. I will show you a music video. I'll show you some songs so that you will see and you know that I'm not just capping. And then another example, United Nations World Food Program. They literally used the blockchain to distribute food aid. So let me give you an example. Let me explain it to you. So you know there are refugee camps where people are that have been displaced by, let's say, natural disaster. They are in those camps, and then this United Nations, this particular program, they usually give food to these people. So they will give them money, and then they will use the money to buy food. So they actually started using the blockchain, where they give them a particular card and then they will fund the card, and then those cards will now be used. They will now use those cards to like purchase the food, and all of those things are being tracked, recorded on the blockchain. They did not need middlemen. They did not need companies. So before, they will use banks to disburse this money. They will use companies to this and organizations to disburse this money, but now they can do it directly to the refugee people, and they are not afraid that, oh, this person collected more money or this person used this person money, because everything is being traced, everything is being tracked on the blockchain. So all of these things I'm showing you, you can take a screenshot and go and research it, read more about it, you're going to see it. Now, Estonia, because all of these examples have been personal company. Estonia is a country. They actually use blockchain for many of their sectors, from health records to voting to digital ID and so many more. Rwanda, sorry, I don't know why I'm pronouncing things funny. Rwanda. You know what? Pronounce it in your head. Anything you say, that is it. Now, that country, they are using blockchain for land ownership. If you really check, you will see other countries like Georgia, Brazil, Congo, Estonia. There are different countries that are using blockchain for different things, from supply chain. So people are using blockchain for shipping, to track their shipping. They are using it for their custom, to track their custom department. Some are using it for payment. Some are using it for data storage. Some are using it to track goods and services. Literally, countries are using this blockchain. They are using this Web3. So it's not something that will happen in the future. In fact, we can see what is happening in the USA, where Donald Trump is president. You see that they are putting in systems. In fact, there's even ETFs. ETFs is literally like the way you buy stock in the market. You can now buy cryptocurrency as stock. Not just in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria is still very far. But then, across the world, these things are being used right now. So just in case you're saying that, oh, later when I'm you know how you say when I'm 40 I will do this, or maybe later in life I will do this. By the time you're ready to do it, we have passed, we have left Web3, we are doing something else. We are going far. So please, I'm just giving you all of this to tell you that these are real life cases that are being used in Web3. So let me move on quickly. Oh my god, it's 11. So how do you get started in Web3? First thing is to learn about it. There are a lot of resources online. Read articles about it. So what I did when I was learning Web3, I literally went online and I searched for all of these terminologies I used to hear. What is a coin? What is a token? What is a blockchain? What is cryptocurrency? What is fiat? I literally read about it, like everything I could read, and then I wrote an article about it. So you're going to be writing an article, because it's one thing for you to learn, it's another thing for you to know it enough. So how do you know it? Writing about it, teaching it to somebody, practicing it. So you're going to write an article after this. But then I literally consumed a lot of resources, and then I understood the technology more. So that's the first thing you need to do. Read about it, watch YouTube videos, there are a lot of resources. Take courses. There are some courses on there that you can do. The next thing you need is to set up a digital wallet, because at the end of the day, the wallet you use is like your identity in Web3. So you know how you use a Web2 application and they will tell you what is your name, what is your username, what is your phone number, all of those information. In Web3, all they will ask you is what is your wallet address. So your wallet address is like your identity. Is what will allow you to interact with all those applications that are built on the blockchain. Is what is going to store your cryptocurrency. So you need to create a wallet. So you can start by creating wallets. Create a centralized wallet, create a decentralized wallet, create a cold wallet, create a hot wallet. So all this is I'm saying, write it down and go and research about it. But then you need to know how to set up, how to use a wallet. Learn how to change your naira or whatever country you're in, how to change your local currency to cryptocurrency. Learn how to change your cryptocurrency to your local currency. Learn how to buy cryptocurrencies. Anything that has to do with wallet, learn it. Once you do this, you understand a lot of things. You would understand a lot of things. The next thing is for you to explore decentralized applications. So there are a lot of applications that exist already in Web3. You can just go and check out. I'm going to show you some of them, but then check how they work. See how you can use it. Get familiar with it. The next thing is for you to join Web3 community. So you're already in the community. Do not just be looking. Get involved, engage, ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you're not learning, because it's as if you are a, I don't know, a funnel. They're just pouring something inside you. You're not checking it, you're not filtering it, you're not seeing that is this thing correct. What if all the things I'm telling you is a lie? You have to ask questions, and then you learn from other people. If you just come to a community and you're just keeping quiet, you will lose a lot, because you will not know everything, but the other person that is next to you will probably have learned some things that you have not learned. But when you interact with those people, two of you will like exchange knowledge. So community, very important. Then explore Web3 jobs. So whatever skill you have now, you can transfer it to Web3. You don't have to be a developer. So if you know how to write, you can come to Web3 and write. If you know how to do content, there are a lot of blockchains that are paying people to create content for them. Sing, dance, do skits, all those things. They will pay you dollars. They will pay you cryptocurrency for you to do those things. If you know how to write code, come and write code in Web3. If you know how to design, come and design in Web3. You know how to do project management, product management, come and do it in Web3. You know how to trade, you know how to trade the financial market, come and trade in Web3. You know how to do HR, come and do HR in Web3. You know how to do events. There are actually Web3 companies that pay people to organize events for them. You can be an event manager in Web3. You can be a community manager in Web3. Explore Web3 jobs. Try doing them. You don't have to go and learn something new. The skills that you have, you can use it. If you don't have any skill, learn a skill. Don't just come and be jumping up and down. Because if you jump up and down, if something happens, for example, let's say that we say we are not doing Web3 again, we are doing Web4. What will happen to you? Have skills that you can transfer. That if something happens, let's say the internet closed today, you have something that you can exchange for money. So learn a skill if you don't have any skill. The next one is to contribute to open source project. You don't have to be a developer to contribute to open source projects. So open source project, most of the Web3 companies are open source projects. You don't have to collect money from them. Just say, okay, I want to help you write articles. Oh, I want to help you post. I want to manage your social media. I want to create a social media calendar. I want to write code for you. I want to help you design. Contribute to open source with whatever skills you have. Participate in hackathons. You can form teams with other people that have other skills that you know that are needed in the hackathon. Pair up with people. So for example, I'm a developer. Instead of me to be thinking about how do I do it myself, I will find a friend that is a designer, find a friend that is a project manager, I'll find a friend that is a video editor. All of us will come together and we'll go and participate in the hackathon. And then when we win the money, we will share. The first money I made in Web3 was $5,000, and it was from a hackathon. And I didn't do it by myself. I did it with my colleagues that we did one program together. $5,000. By the time we shared the money, each of us got $1,000 something dollars. And after that, I said, wait, what are you telling me? I'm going to stay in this Web3. I'm not going anywhere. But then, participate in hackathons. There are a lot of bounties. Like I said, in my newsletter, I put out all those opportunities. So, bounties, contests, there are a lot of things that they will tell you, do something, and we are going to pay you. There are a lot of things that they will tell you, learn. In fact, they are learn to earn. I practically did a program in Web3 in one of these blockchains where they were paying me $100 every week to learn about their ecosystem. All of these things exist, but how will you get the information? That's why I said community. And subscribe to my newsletter so that you get those opportunities. Collaborate with other people to gain experience. So demo time. We have spent a lot of time. So let's do practical. So remember, I talked about wallets. So what is a hackathon? A hackathon is a program that they organize. It's like a competition where they will give you tasks on what to do. Now, usually, the tasks are usually technical tasks. So they may say that, oh, build applications, and the people that have the best applications will get money. So there will be different price. For example, you know how we used to do debates in school? There will be first position, second position, third position. Competition. People should build a product, for example, build something in Web3, build a solution to, let's say, a problem you're facing in Web3. There will be first runner up, there will be second runner up, there will be third runner up. So people will pair together. So even if you're not a developer, you can pair with people that are developers, and then you guys build the project together. And then if you win, you get something from it. So that is a hackathon. it's a competition. It's not just in Web3. There are AI hackathons, there are Web2 hackathons, there's hackathon everywhere. Writing hackathons, write-a-thon, build-a-thon, sing-a-thon, video-a-thon. Like there's a lot of tons. So just look out for them. And yeah, so the first thing I want to show us, so where do you find this opportunity? I've said it, I have a newsletter. I send out Web3 opportunities every week. Every Monday or Tuesday, I send out opportunities in Web3. So from learning opportunities, like where to learn, especially if you want to be like a developer, or maybe all these programs, boot camps, I put them in my newsletter every week. So if you want to subscribe, you subscribe and you get it in your email every week. So remember, I mentioned that the first thing you need in Web3 is a wallet. You need a wallet, because a wallet is like your first point, is your first point of touch. Anything you're going to be doing in Web3, you need a wallet. So even the applications you're going to be using, so just as you use your email address to sign into application, for example to Facebook, for Web3, all those signing that you're going to be doing, you need a wallet. So remember that one of the things I talked about is that Web3 literally incentivizes you for your actions. So for example, social media that you do, they don't incentivize you, but in Web3 social media, somebody can literally like your post, they can do all of those things. What will you collect all of those things inside of your wallet? So you need a wallet. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to create a wallet for yourself. I will show you how to create two wallets. One is the Intmax wallet, the second one is MetaMask wallet. Both of them have mobile applications, both of them have web applications that you can use. So this is the first one that I'll be showing you, the Intmax wallet. Now, the good thing about the Intmax wallet is that it allows you to create a wallet without you going through the regular Web3 way. So remember, I told you in Web3, it's private, sort of, like there's a form of anonymity where people do not really care about your name, your phone number, your house address, your age, all of those things. All they need is your wallet address. So for you to create a wallet, instead of you filling in your details, what you need is that the wallet is literally going to generate a 12 or 24 word, like I'm going to show you in the MetaMask one. But then you will need to like create something like that. But then with Intmax wallet, using your email address, you're able to create a wallet. You're able to create a wallet for yourself. So what do? If you have a Google account, you can click on continue with Google. If you do not have a Google account, you can click on continue with email. So I'm going to click on continue with Google. I'll choose one of my addresses. So you continue. So if you try to do this by yourself, it's going to be very easy. Then you're going to enter your personal code. So you put a nickname for yourself. You're not going to use this nickname, but then you're going to need it for you to open your wallet, like to like do verification, because they are trying to put like a layer of security so that it's not easily like accessible to anybody. So what you're going to put, make sure you remember it. If you can, write it somewhere, but when you write it, don't go and write it and keep it in your parlor where anybody can come and see it. Don't write it and keep it in a place like you put it in a book and you keep it carelessly. Somebody can just come, if they see it, anything that is inside your wallet, they can collect it. So the nickname, so for example, so let me say I'll call it Vicky. Let me say my phone number is 1234. My pin is 123456. That's my pin. And then you have to tick this box that you read it. So they are ticking it to be sure that you read it. So this information will be required for logging in, for restoring your wallet and adding devices. Make sure to remember it. So be sure that you remember it. So after you're done, I say I remember. So you need to register passkey. So depending on the device you're using, if you're using a phone, your passkey might be your phone's camera. So you know how you use your face ID to open apps, so they want to attach a passkey to your wallet. So it could be your face ID, it could be your thumbprint, it could be a password or something set up on your device. So you need to register a passkey. So if you just click on it, depending on what you're using, it's going to ask you for it. So I'm going to say, they say choose where to store your passkey. I'm choosing my Google Manager and I'm storing it here. So verify is you. So I don't know if you can see my screen, but then they sent me a message. So let me share that screen as well. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. Okay, you guys can see it. Okay, so they're asking for the pin. Remember, I'm connecting it to my passkey, and my passkey, the way I set up my phone is that it's hard for you need to verify it on different devices. So I'm going to verify that it is me. Eh? So after that has been done, it's going to like take you back for you to set up your pass. So my screen has stopped sharing. Please confirm you can see my screen. So now the reason why this step is longer on my own end is because of the security I have set up. On your own device is going to be shorter than this. You will not need to verify anything. Once you fill up the nickname, your phone number, the last digit of your phone number, and your password, like your passcode that you're setting, you will not need to do this. You just move on to this page that you're seeing now. So you have to set a master password. Now this is like setting your password on your device. You need to remember this so that you can retrieve your account if anything happens to your phone. You use this your master password to retrieve your account. So just click on I agree and then set your master password. So they have like some rules. It must be at least 12 characters, at least one capital letter. So let me just try to write something. So I'm copying it so that I'm not gonna forget it. So continue, confirm. So the thing I wrote, I already forgotten it. I'm not even going anywhere. Don't bother taking pictures of it because this account will not be used. So I'm verifying. So after this has been done, you have created your wallet. Just tick this, download, you have saved them. It's going to be saved on your system and you have created your wallet. So now this wallet, now you can see one thing that you should notice is your wallet address. So if you check here where you see wallet, this is your wallet address. So if you copy this your wallet address and you paste it on a blockchain explorer, you're going to be able to see the transactions that you have done on that wallet. So with this step, you have created a wallet. So if somebody tells you that, oh, I want to send you crypto, provided the network is like Ethereum and any other supported blockchain. With this wallet, you're able to receive the crypto. But please, before you send your wallet address, confirm that the wallet you're using is supported by the blockchain that you're trying to send, or rather that the blockchain you're trying to send with is supported by the wallet. Make sure you check before you send. But then when they ask you for your wallet address, you just copy your wallet address and send. So it is usually looking like this. So I'm pasting it in the comments so that you see how it is full. It's like is mixed characters, 0, 1, x, numbers and letters. So this is how like a wallet address looks like. So with this, you can do transactions on the blockchain. You can send money, you can receive money. So let me explain some things here before I move to the next one. So whenever you have money inside, you can see the balance here. You can send. So for you to send, put in the amount you want to send. For example, there's nothing to send. But then when you put in the amount that you have, you're going to be able to put in the wallet address of the person that you want to send to, and then you'll be able to send. And then you can check here to see all the transactions that you've done. So I don't want to dwell here, but with this, you've created a wallet for yourself that you can use. You can receive as well. If somebody asks you, please send me your wallet address, you can just click on this receive button, copy your address, send to the person. You can also swap. Let's say you have some crypto inside of your wallet, you want a particular crypto, you can just swap it inside of here and use the crypto. This wallet has a feature that allows you to send using social media login. So for example, if I want to send you money, I don't know your wallet address. If I have your Twitter page, or maybe your Instagram, maybe your phone number, your email, I'm able to send it. So maybe later you can come and check the features here, but I want to move on to the next one. So if you have any questions, please just keep them, so I'll take all the questions at once. I need to finish this class before 12. Let me see how many people are still here. 49. You people are strong. All right, let me rush and finish up. So the next one I want to talk about is MetaMask. MetaMask is a very popular wallet that is being used. So you can actually also check on your Play Store for MetaMask wallet. You can check on Play Store. You can also try to use the Chrome extension. So depending on the browser you're using, there is usually an extension that you can download. So using the extension, you can control your wallet. Remember how this other wallet I showed you is? You can see the amount of money you have in, you can send, you can receive. So even on MetaMask as well, the interface is also same. You can see the amounts of money you have here in the tokens. You can see your activities. So these activities now is these transactions in this other wallet. You can buy, you can send, you can swap, you can send, you can receive. So to receive, you copy the address. So most wallets are similar. They're usually very similar. You can send, you put in the address that you want to send to. So for example, let's say I want to send to this my Intmax wallet address. I can literally paste it here. Oh my god. I can literally paste it here and do continue, and then it's going to send to that wallet address. So for you to create this MetaMask wallet, you literally need to they are going to give you 24 key letters. Now the issue I have with this one is that I'm not able to create a new account. If I create a new account, it's just going to open up. But then you can try downloading the MetaMask. You can try you can also use it as a web application. So if you click on this view, so let me paste this link also. So Intmax also has an extension that you can use, but this is the web version of MetaMask. You can still send, you can. So let me try to create a new wallet. Thing is, I have a lot of wallets. I have a lot of accounts, so if I'm going to do something, I'll have to I have over 30 something accounts in my MetaMask. If I try to clean it off, I will lose most of them. And that's why I don't want to redo it. But then there are a lot of videos on YouTube on how to create your MetaMask wallet. So if you're really serious about learning about it, you can just go and check it. So I don't want to dwell here. I've already shown you how to create a wallet. It's similar. The only thing is that you need to write down your seed phrase, like your 24 or 12 key seed. It's just words that is arranged in numerical order. So 1 to 24 or 1 to 12. We write it down. Then they will ask you for it again. So they will say like maybe number 7, number 8. You put in the numbers and it has created your wallet for you like that. That's all. So let me go to the next one. So somebody asked me what is a example of Web3 social media. Webcaster is a Web3 social media platform that you can use. So there's actually the application. You can use it on your iPhone or your Android phone. I'm not connecting my. Okay, can I connect? Oh, let me mirror my iPhone so that you see it. Gosh, I don't have it on this phone. I cannot mirror my Android phone. You guys, you would have to download these apps to be able to use it. Although for Farcaster is paid. You need to pay, I think, about 3,000 naira or so. They will deduct it from your card if you're going to use Farcaster. But then you will notice that unlike the other one that you're just going to create your login details, on Webcast, it will also create a wallet for you. So the social media app is going to have a wallet that you use to collect your rewards. Someone saying something. Yes, so you need to create a wallet. It's not you will need to create, it's going to create a wallet for you. It's going to create a wallet for you. So I'm going to paste this link as well. Just try downloading it. It's like Twitter. You can put status, you can create communities, channels, you can chat, you can post tweets, something like tweet, post pictures, post text. But then it is Web3 and it is certified. So let me just show you this other one. So this is another social media like platform. It's called Zora. So all the content you're posting on this social media platform is being minted as an NFT. So an NFT is just a form of digital art that is stored on the blockchain. So you can imagine this is somebody's post. The person posted this picture and then the person has earned $17.86. So people would actually, if they like this picture, they can literally buy it. So imagine if you're posting all those posts that you've been posting on Twitter, posting on WhatsApp, posting everywhere. Imagine people can just, they like it and they just buy it. So instead of to say, fine girl, fine boy, they are liking it. They are liking it. They are buying it. So this is another platform that allows you to actually tokenize your content. So it's not just pictures, there are also videos. So I said I was going to show you. I'm going to show you a video that was posted that was minted, like a whole musical video, audio video that was put as content, and you're going to see how it was, how the person is monetizing it. Like, look at this one. This is somebody's post. He posted it 5 hours ago, and he posted it on X. So, but then he will also post it here, and if you click on it, you're going to see that this picture has a market cap of $1,000. The creator has earned $0.21 from this. So I can choose to buy it. If I buy it, it will enter my wallet. So remember, I told you your wallet is very important. If I buy it, it will enter my wallet, and then I can also choose to sell it. So I don't want again. Let's say the value of this stuff has increased. I want to sell it. I can sell it. Somebody else will buy it. You can see that there are 5 people that are holding this. 5 people are holding it, and you can see the market cap, that's the total value of this picture, is 1,000. So these 5 people are the ones that put money together, that is 1,000. So you can imagine social media that it is incentivized. So look at this, is another random picture. Random picture, they are just doing love shape. Random pictures, videos, pictures. And if you check, people are actually buying it. This person's own, the person has made $3 from this picture. There are videos as well. I'm going to show you a video. So let me just show you something else. Have I posted this? So this is another social media platform. This is another social media platform that you can check out. If you notice, it's also like it has a similar interface. It's called Hey. It was built under Lens, so you can check out Lens. Lens is like a social media protocol that allows you to build your own social media on the blockchain. So literally, people can literally follow you. If you notice, it looks like Twitter. You can put your picture, put all of those. The people can follow you. You can follow people. You can make posts the same way you're making posts, and it is literally like very similar to what we have. This was posted 11 hours ago. 150 people have liked it. 3 people have tipped it. So if you check, this is the picture. You can see that 3 people have tipped this picture. 2 people have bookmarked it. So at the end of the day, when you're doing this, literally people, as they are tipping you like that, is entering your wallet directly. Like this person, 4 people has tipped it. You see, it's quite different from Zora, but it is still incentivized. So you're not just using social media for social media. People can actually incentivize you for the content that you're putting out. So this is another one. And then the last one I'm going to show you is a blog, a Web3 version of a blog. So just as you have medium.com, you have hashnode.com, there are also Web3 blogs. Now this is just one of them. So remember, I told you in Web3, your wallet is your passcode, it's like your identity. So now if you notice, instead of saying login, what do you see? Connect. So I'm going to click on connect. You can see it's asking for my MetaMask. So I'm going to sign in. I have it on my MetaMask, but I'm not seeing the request. Anyways, this MetaMask is supposed to pop up and I accept. And once I accept, it will log me in. Once it logs me in, you're going to see my wallet address, just as you saw it here. Okay, I didn't even connect to wallet here. I didn't connect to wallet. Yes, so you see how it's popping up. This is how it's supposed to pop up. And then you connect. Once you connect, it's going to now once you connect, it's supposed to show your wallet address. Something is wrong with my MetaMask. I'm not ready to look at it now. But yeah, this is a Web3 version of a blog. So let me open one of these blog posts and show you. So this is a blog post that was posted by the Optimism collection. So you can see here that people collected it. So just as people were able to tip that picture or buy that picture, they can also mint this content. So this is an article, but people can literally mint it, and when they mint it, it is being added to their wallet. So as they are minting it, see, you're minting for how much? 0.0001 Ethereum. So at the end of the day, you mint it, is added to your collection, and then the people that posted it, they are incentivized. So let me open another post. So that particular one I just showed you now, 240 something people have collected it. So different platforms will have like their different terminologies. And if you notice, it still looks very similar to what we have. So let me open this one. So you can see, if you notice, see the person's identity, 0x5a, this is the person's wallet address, 0x54ab, this is the person's wallet address, and then this is the blog post. a typical blog post with links, everything. But then you can see an option to mint it. So you can mint this whole content as an NFT, and it's going to be added to your wallet. And then you that you're posting it, you're going to be incentivized for your content. So you can see that 26 people have already minted it on Base network. So you can see how different platforms are using Web3. There are other platforms. You can also go and check the ones for loan, the one for buying, selling. There are e-commerce platforms that you can pay with crypto. You can go on and on, but these are the examples that I can show you right now because of time. So let me quickly talk about the future of Web3. What does Web3 look like in the future? Number one is that there will be jobs without border. Already we are seeing it. Before, you hear people say that, oh, we cannot hire from your country because we don't know how to process your payments. We are not processing salary for people in Africa. But now they can process salary for people anywhere because they are paying in crypto, and crypto is borderless. So you would have jobs without borders, and then you would have apps where users will earn, not just the companies. So we already have them. We have play to earn, you play games to earn. You have read to earn, you read to earn. You usually read and they reward you for reading. Learn to earn, I told you of the one that I did on Cello blockchain. $100 every week, they were paying me to learn, they were paying me to write for them as well. We have work to earn. All these fitness apps on the blockchain, they will reward you for doing exercise. So the longer you walk, the longer you run, all of those things, it converts to tokens that you can actually spend. All of those things are going to be more in the future of Web3. Online identity, so you don't need to have one identity on WhatsApp, one on Facebook, one on Twitter. You have plenty accounts, plenty passwords. We are going to get to a time where all your identity is going to be merged into one, and that identity is going to be used across border and across platforms. And then there's going to be voting, there's going to be governance that will be free and fair. Already countries are already doing voting with the blockchain. They are no longer relying on paper and pen or ballot or not ballot. I would have told you a story of my first voting experience, but there's no time. Digital arts, music and writings will earn you royalties forever. With the blockchain, nobody can boycott you. Provided it's being stored on the blockchain, you will keep earning from your content that you're putting out. Interconnected applications, so everything is going to be connected. We already have smart homes, but imagine where your home is not just smart in the sense that, oh, lights will on by itself, or where your home is not just smart in the sense that, oh, when you know these smart homes that are on like all these bougie areas, curtain will close by itself, your fridge will turn on by itself. Imagine if Web3 is added to it. You will be able to pay for things without even thinking about it. Those applications will regulate. Once they see that, oh, this thing is finishing, they will pay for it automatically with your wallet. Everything is going to be connected. Everything is going to be connected. And then a transparent supply chain. You know, when you how many of us were on social media where we saw that there was something that happened? There was this trade war that happened between US and China, that China now came out to say that all of these designer things that you guys have been buying is us that created it. And they were like, you bought Gucci bag is actually $300. You bought shoe is imagine all of those things. Imagine if we are able to track and trace where we are buying things from, because at the end of the day, it's just a game of perception. It's just what they make you think. You see somebody, what's the difference between the tailor that is sewing in the market and the tailor that is sewing on, let's say, on the island? It's packaging, it's perception. But then imagine where you know where this thing is coming from. Somebody cannot come and say, or you see drugs, you go to the market, you see a lot of fake drugs because everybody claims that they are the supplier. But if you check, you will see somebody is doing those drugs in their parlor. Or even all of those soft drinks you're drinking, some of them, they are doing it in the parlor. But then imagine where we are able to trace where everything is coming from, and that is going to be possible with the blockchain. So this is like what the blockchain looks like. Don't worry, don't feel bad, God is going to help you. Yeah, so that's what it's going to look like in the future. So I have assignments for you. The first thing I want you to do is, because see, I've gone through tutorial hell before, whereby I learned. In fact, when I was getting into the tech space, I spent a whole year learning. I spent a whole year learning, and after learning, I could not do anything with the knowledge. So I want you to write about what you've learned. You think you know it until you try to write about it and you realize that you were just laughing throughout this class. You were just laughing, you didn't learn anything. So by the time you now try to write it down or you try to say it to yourself, you're now going to be sure whether you understood it or not. So I want you to write or maybe record a video with you explaining what you learned. So what is Web3? Can you actually say what Web3 is right now? Do you understand it now? So the first thing, what is Web3? How can Web3 improve your life, your community, your career, your country? Because it's one thing for us to just come and talk about the tech, but if we don't understand it on how we can use it, then you have not fully understood it. You can also check online. There are a lot of use cases of Web3 already that exist. You can also check online. And then I want you to actually write about it. So don't write it and keep it in your bag. Don't write it and keep it in your wardrobe. Nobody is in your room with you to see it. You know that thing where you're doing something and you're the only person that knows that you're doing it. Some of you say your family members, your village people, they don't know that you have those skills. So I don't want you to just write it and keep it to yourself. Write an article. Let it be like a proper article. Post it on maybe LinkedIn. Twitter has a Twitter article. You can write it on Twitter if you have like a paid account. If you don't have, write it on Medium. If you prefer videos, there are some people that prefer to do videos. Do a video about it and post it online. This is going to start opening doors for you. So before you get to the point of where you're looking for jobs in Web3, people are already saying that this person knows Web3, and you think everybody knows Web3 except you. You'll be surprised that you are just one in like a million people that know what Web3 is right now. So when we say Web3 is still early, it's actually still early. You are one of the people that know about it. So by the time every other person has started catching up, you're already very advanced with it. So please do this first one. The second one is to try out Web3 application. So all these apps I've showed you, download them, install it, try to use it. Then I want you to document it as well. What is the app you're writing about? What is this app you're using? Zora. How do you use it? How did you do it? Was it easy to use? Was it hard to use? Then try to explain it to a newbie what it is for and how it is used. So you can explore any app at all, 5 of them at least. Write all of these things. If you're doing a video, if you're publishing an article, put the link inside of a document, a Google Doc, and then submit it in the forum for this particular class. So this is like your assessment for this class. I'm going to drop the link of these slides in the chat or in the forum so that you can see it and you can go over it by yourself.
See, Web3 doesn't have to be complicated. You have just seen what it is, why it matters, and even how you can start using it. So if this video really helped you, share it with your friend that is also still trying to figure out Web3. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe so that you get more videos like this. Don't forget to share as well, like I mentioned. Now, in case you're looking for opportunities in Web3, I send out newsletters every week on job opportunities in Web3, learning opportunities, earning opportunities, Web3 events across the globe, and so much more. So please, if you're looking for how to get started in Web3, then you need to be subscribed to my Web3 weekly newsletter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!